Welcome back to the Tim and Steve Show. I am Tim Beard.
I'm Steve Morris.
How's it going, Steve?
Good. How are you?
Not bad. I got a little bug flying around me. That's nice.
Yeah, I must not have sealed the window properly.
Yeah.
Put that air conditioning unit in over there.
Ah, it's gonna be hot. All week looks like 90s.
We had a good rain yesterday, though, to soak down into the soil.
We did. So I'm excited to go up later and see the garden and see what it looks like. Someone had said on Facebook that now that with that rain, tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff really should explode now. So I'm hoping. That will get it. I got one cucumber I saw still out there growing, and then a bunch of tomatoes. I haven't really looked at the other tomato plants well, but then we sprayed down the plants because of the, I don't know, bug that was eating them. I'm like, are you kidding me? I put a fence around this, like, can't stop the bugs from coming in though, but
So it's like a green worm.
yeah, it's a green worm. I picked a couple off and like crushed them, and then I flipped over some more and I'm like, what in the heck? Yeah, it looks just like those things.
So what is that called?
They look kind of
cabbage. Yeah, that's what I thought.
yeah, that's what he said. It's funny though, because when Kevin told me, he's like, I saw I messaged him. I said, hey, what's up with this? And it sounds like cabbage worm. I don't have any cabbage. Because the picture I sent him, it looks kind of like cabbage. I'm like, no, it's Brussels sprouts. But apparently it must not just be for cabbage. But because Andrew's like, we got to do something about these plants that getting all these holes in them. I'm like, because I hadn't been paying attention. I'm like, oh yeah, what the heck? So we looked to see, if it was snails or anything like that. And sure enough, it's those little things. So I check it again. I got to need to check it again today because she sprayed them twice and just to see. So you need to go out and make sure they're.
Did you get the undersides and the leaves and everything?
Yeah, I believe she did because that's where they were at the bottom. So yeah, my eggplant. I don't know. Hopefully after this rain it looks better. But this is what happened too with the Brussels sprouts. We got them. They look like beautiful. Then I went out for a few days. I'm like, oh man, they're like toasted. They were laying down and now they look beautiful. So hopefully it's just a matter of getting acclimated to the new soil and the sun and all that stuff. So yeah, and we didn't water the bottom part of the garden at all, which now everything's going to water. No, I'm not going to probably have to for a week.
Thursday evening, I think.
Sounds like maybe some thunderstorms, but so
that would be nice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Days in between, because then I'll go out and spray probably this evening. I'll look at mine because I got some damage on some of my collard greens. I saw there was a leaf being eaten.
Yeah.
A few of them.
Yeah, it's like, come on, seriously. Nothing big's got into the garden. It's been little things, which
Knock on wood.
Yes, which is harder to get. The little bugs and stuff. But yeah, I still got that. We'll see how now it looks, but I still got that one tomato that just doesn't look healthy. Just doesn't look like it wants to go. And I mean, I guess it happens, but so the chicks that we got over the last week there, whatever. Yeah, I think we're down to like 12 or 10. The rest have like died. 5 more died last night. So she's just like,
any turkeys left?
Nope.
So all the turkeys are gone?
6 dead turkeys and then the rest all chickens.
Wonder what it is.
Same fee that they were using, everything. She's going to call today and be like, we want our money back because those turkeys are $7 a piece. The chicks are like $3 a piece. But like, we've done this many times and had, you lose a few. I mean, there was a year I had 12 turkeys and 3 managed to live to get to full size. So it does happen, but I've never had issues with chickens like this. And I went to this place thinking it would be better than, if I went to Runnings or something, and because I've gone there before and then they died and I was like, oh, maybe it's because it's Runnings. Well, no, apparently not. It's just, so I don't know, pretty disappointing.
I wonder why that is. Well, that might be why they juice them up with so much antibiotics and everything.
Maybe. So we found a rooster. Andrea picked it up this morning. I've been wanting a rooster for a little while now, just so that with a rooster, obviously you can have chicks. Without the rooster, you can't have any chicks. Takes a male rooster to get the eggs fertilized. See where I'm going with that. And
well, you're being a little. I mean, you're just assuming.
Yeah, I'm assuming. I guess no chicks have come out of those things yet, but we do pick them. Grab them every day. But so we're hoping if we do it that way, perhaps then we'll have some that.
Now, where are you going to keep this rooster?
With the hens.
The egg layers?
Yeah.
So you're not going to be able to get eggs anymore?
We'll still get eggs.
How will you know if they're...
You take them every single day, so you take, it takes, like time, they have to be together, and they'll lay them, but then, yeah, it's not like they don't become a chicken instantly.
Well, I get that, but like I've cracked open an egg before, not one of yours,
yes.
that had a
chicken
partially developed chicken in it, and it's
yes.
traumatizing.
Yeah, that only happens because someone missed that egg for a period of time, and then it somehow got into your thing. That's happened to me too. Yeah. Never with our eggs though, because like every morning we get our eggs, and then every night when we put the chickens in, we grab any eggs that are out there. So when you are grabbing the eggs, even if you fertilized one, there's still not going to be a chicken. You know, so that would only happen if it was, you know, missed for several days or whatever, because I think it's 23 days from, you know, egg to hatching. So
right, but like you don't know if the rooster has mated with said hen when you grab that egg immediately. Or are you saying that the rooster just goes up to an egg?
No,
and does his business to the egg.
No, I think it's the hen.
Right.
But it's not. If you crack the egg open, all right, I'll have to verify to make sure. Because now you're putting doubt in my head. But
well, I don't want to put doubt. I'm just trying to.
Because I've also wondered that before, and that may sound stupid, right? Because I always thought, well, the rooster just went over to the egg and fertilized it. But I guess he fertilizes the hen and then does it. The way you can tell if it's fertilized is you have to put it up to a light, and you'll see a red spot in it. But yeah, I mean, I'm honest. I'm still new at this stuff. Like, this is the first rooster I've ever had. So roosters do not lay eggs. Yeah, well, we knew that. If you don't have roosters, your hens will still lay eggs that are unfertilized. Yeah.
How long does it take for a chicken egg to fertilize? One rooster mating will produce sperm capable of fertilizing eggs in that hen for up to 2 weeks following that mating. The fertilized eggs, once laid, will remain viable for as long as a month in some extreme cases.
Right. So as long as they were to sit on it, keep it warm.
Right, but it still will. Won't the cell start splitting if it's fertilized?
Yeah, but it can't.
Because this is saying that it'll last in the hen for up to 2 weeks.
So I see what you're saying.
So if he mates with her, then for up to 2 weeks after that, she can produce viable.
And those eggs would technically mix,
right.
Sperm, egg.
They'd be fertilized.
And so the process would start even without the chicken laying on it, is what you're saying.
Right. So it might stop when you collect them and put them on the counter.
So that's what I'm thinking.
But like,
right. All right. So I'll have to check that out and make sure.
Yeah. I mean, you probably. I mean, if you've done it before, you know.
We've never had a rooster before, though.
I've never.
Yeah, we've never had a rooster though, because this is the first time. Like normally, I wouldn't get a rooster, except we want to actually have some eggs and hatch them, and because I don't want to rely on, you know, some company to buy them, you know, for obvious reasons. Is right now, like, at least if you have some that are yours, you don't really have any investment per se in them. So I'll have to actually, you know, I can ask her uncle who did stuff. I worked with chickens for a long, long time, I guess, way back, so he would know. So
Yeah,
I'll verify
I'm just trying
that.
to make, you know, because
I
them
understand.
to produce eggs for at least another few months, right?
Oh yeah, I want them to keep making eggs. I just want to have some eggs that we take and put in an incubator to make
Right.
chicks. So I'll ask him, make sure, because I personally wouldn't want to get an egg or give you an egg or someone else an egg that is weird.
Yeah. I'm weird, like, you know what I mean? I'm weird.
Well, no, I
with
get
chicken.
it. I get it.
Nikki gets mad at me all the time because I'm wanting to check the meat on the chicken.
So
Probably some 60 Minutes thing I watched about dying from undercooked chicken, or Dateline or 2020.
I mean, yeah, you don't want to eat an undercooked chicken. That's not
Yeah,
good.
I mean, but you know what I mean? I like, after I cracked one open with a partially
That's happened. I think my
develop
uncle.
chicken.
It's
It's
extremely, extremely rare, but yeah,
It's like my one guy that when he went over to some military partner over out in the Pacific, he had to eat like what Chief was talking about.
yes. Were they blackened eggs or something? Or
Well, it's where the chick is like
it's disgusting.
in the egg, and then they pickle it, or
Yeah, it was was that China or Japan?
no, it's like all throughout.
Oh, it's a
the
big thing.
Pacific. It's different. Some do duck, some do
Yeah.
chicken, some pickle it. I think some don't.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's see now
See, that's where I'm coming from.
I'm seeing the
It's like-
fear come out even more. Understanding of like, oh yeah, that's a good point. That's gross.
Yeah,
But
'cause that traumatized. my
So-
guy.
like I gave Aggie a dozen eggs the other day because we have a bunch of them. We're still trying to sell some, or at this point, honestly, if you wanted some eggs, we'd just give you some because we're getting about a dozen a day. And so a couple things: once you take your egg out of the from the chicken with the hen or whatever that's sitting on them or in the box, Adelina and I showed videos before, and Andrew used to send in a video which I just love watching. But she goes in, she gets the eggs. Usually, if the chicken's there, she'll thank the chicken. And we take them. We obviously wash them. Sometimes they're pooped on or whatever. So we don't refrigerate them because they're good for 2 months, not refrigerated. Once you refrigerate them, you start a process of okay, now the egg is only good for I think it's a month or whatever it is. It's been a little while since I've chicken, so these numbers might be slightly off. So
I did some research when we lived in Missouri.
Yeah.
Because Nikki left them out on the counter, and then I think that's how they do it over in Europe.
leave it on the counter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So it's a U.S. thing where we
refrigerate
dose it up with some radiation and then refrigerate it. Or I don't know if it's radiation, but
something. Yeah.
something to.
Yeah. So if you were to get a fresh egg, and you have a fresh egg when you crack that thing open and the yolk is almost like an orange color, and you would think, oh, there's something wrong with the egg. No, that's a fresh egg. When you go to the store and buy eggs and you crack it open, it's yellow. It's because it's an aged egg that's aging its way out of not being edible. So the orangey yolk, that is a fresh egg. Like that's
No, we made
Yeah.
a cake that you could use egg whites and make it like a white cake,
Yep.
or it could be a yellow cake if you use the whole egg.
Yep.
We used a whole egg with a homegrown from I can't remember the name of the farm, but where you got the blueberry bushes.
Oh, yep.
So-
Bascom Road.
Yeah, so
Yep.
we got the Baskin Road eggs. Anyway, it was an orange cake because those
Because the eggs
yolks
are
were
orange.
so
yeah.
like they weren't yellow; they were
Right.
bright orange, and
But you
it
have
was
to
still
tell.
good. It tasted great.
Oh yeah, you have to tell people this stuff because I mean, I'd be the same way. Crack an egg open, I'm like, that's orange. Oop, throw that one away. Oop, crack it. Because I'm weird. Like Andrea will just crack. If she's making something, say it calls for 3 eggs, she'll just crack them in a bowl and well, my parents always taught me to crack them in a cup, so that if you get a bad one, you're like, not. So if number 3 is the bad one, now they're all junk, right? You got to throw them all away. So I've always done it because she always looks at me kind of weird, like, why do you do it that way? Well, just because if there's one bad egg, which sometimes you get the like blood spot in or whatever, which has probably been a fertilized egg at some point. I don't know, but
We looked that up. I can't remember that, but yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. That little dot.
because I'll be like, no, throw that egg out. Like, so yeah, no, I get it. Yeah,
That might be it, that dot.
it's probably the dot.
Yeah, because I know exactly what you're talking about. Like Nikki gets mad at me when it comes to discussing chicken and chicken products to eat. So I'm not trying to make you mad. I'm just trying
Oh, no, you
to
don't make me
learn
mad.
as well because
Right. Well, yeah, I don't want to get eggs that have
you don't want to end up
something that's-
having
yeah.
all fertilized eggs and then you don't even want to eat them or I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah. We just want, we ultimately, so yeah,
Because a
maybe,
rooster could probably roam free for the most part. Like, what's going to get that rooster? A fox, maybe?
I don't know.
You'd think that rooster would go up into the barn and sit up high.
A lot of people free range their chickens, and I don't. And it's not because I don't agree with free ranging or anything. I do. My concern is A, are they going to come back? Which most do. I mean, I think it's usually like, hey, it's nighttime, it's time to go back here. This is where they roost. They're going to roost there. They know there's food there. I don't know. But then animals. I've got hawks that fly overhead and all stuff all the time.
The hawks are out of control
Yeah,
this year.
there's
I've
like
seen
tons
so
of 'em.
many.
So I'm like, there's another reason not to. So what I have is just like literally it's an 8x8 coop where they stay at nighttime, and they have boxes, and then they sleep in there and stuff. So it's not crowded. I mean, I have 12 birds right now. So, and then outside it's 8 by like 12, wired all in around, so that they can go outside, but they're not subject to get eaten by a weasel.
And you can move it too, so you
Yeah.
don't have to keep it in the same place.
Yeah,
You got the skids on there.
yeah, I can move it, which I built it that way on purpose, which I'm glad I did because it was up on the hill, and I moved it down so it was a little easier to get to there, down near the barn. And yeah, so I mean, I was going to be building another chicken coop for the meat birds, which I still need to either way, but at this rate, I don't know.
Yeah, because how many you got left of the meat birds? 4?
Now, 8 to 10 maybe.
Oh, okay. But you have no turkeys left.
No turkeys, and I had 24 chickens a week ago.
Wow.
Like, so I don't know. Like, I don't know. Not sure.
It's interesting.
Yeah, her uncle said maybe I should take one of the hens and put in with the chicks, that mother them, and yeah, but they shouldn't die like that. Like, and they'll be perfectly healthy. Like, you go out at night and like, oh yeah, they're all chirping. Next day, it's like flatline dead. I'm like,
And it's not too cold out. It's not too hot. They
No.
got water. They got food.
no. And we put them in the garage with a heater because we thought maybe that was it. Because originally I just brought them to the barn, and I'm like, it's still, even at night, gets to like 60. They still should be plenty warm. But okay, we'll do it like we used to. We brought them to the garage, put them on the heat. She bought a heating pad, a big pad that goes in there. So she's like, even the one I picked up yesterday, she's like, the one I picked up was dead. She's like, it was still warm. Like, so it's not that it's freezing to death or anything. It's just dying.
It's got to be
Something just
It must be why they pump them full of antibiotics so they don't get those bigger losses.
maybe. But do they do it at that
Wonder if-
age? I don't know. Like,
It's just interesting that I wonder if organic farmers or non.
right? Because
I mean, you're basically organic. I don't think
Yeah.
you could certify it organic. But
no, not certified. But yeah, we don't give them any
Yeah, you don't
chemicals
give
or
them any
anything.
chemicals, you don't
No, none of that stuff.
give them shots.
No. So, I mean, I know some of it is that they, like these big chicken farms, they're giving antibiotics because one chicken gets sick, then all have to get sick. And I mean, you always get a chicken that dies here and there. I mean, it does happen. So they're not as viable as, like, say, a cow or a pig or something like that or whatever. But it's just weird that that amount has died. Like, you lose some young chicks, it says, huh?
Yeah, it says to get them up off the ground a bit. So I don't know if that's the only, on the quick backyardchickens.com recommendation, get them up off the ground, and it says you are going to lose some.
Right. Which, I get that. Like, we've already lost a few, which sucks, but it does happen. And, I think it's just like a turtle lays 200 eggs or whatever,
Yeah.
sea turtle, and it. How
Not
many
all
really?
of them are going to make it to
Yes.
the sea.
So, I mean, I'm sure it's similar to that, but you shouldn't lose,
Yeah, that's just crazy.
60, 70% of what you have. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy. So, we were watching some of the select board meeting last night, which originally we talked about going, and then, I don't know. I got busy. There's a lot of stuff going on, too. But they had a couple grant things. They had things last night. So there's some federal money that we've gotten, or that each town's eligible to get for, like, affordable housing and stuff like that. And so the company that's been approved for senior housing up on across from the airport
Yeah.
was there last night, and they're also doing a 42 unit place over on Spring Street. I guess to like apply for that money or something. Like I said, we didn't get to finish watching the thing, but the concern that was brought up at the last school board meeting by Ed Carr, who came in, and I've asked this question myself, was if you get too many apartment buildings and you bring in new people, so this place potentially would have 14 two-bedroom units. So in theory, that could be 1 or 2 kids per unit. So potentially between 14 and 28 kids roughly. And that's if everything goes how it should. Doesn't ours mean
Right.
You know, mom has 3 kids, 2 bed. Yeah, you never know, right?
It could be as low as none.
It could be as low as none,
or as high as 20 something.
You're right.
They have.
So we're trying to do, or they were at the meeting last night doing this, was figuring out how much that unit complex or whatever would bring in taxes into the town, because you figure it's about 19,000 per kid right now. So if they bring in 20 kids, actually, he figured, 18? It was like 360,000 is what he was saying.
That was the example they used. So
it's
it
360.
Roughly 360,000 for
20 kids.
20 kids.
And then they're doing the math, saying, okay, well, if it's appraised at 20 million, it would be about 360,000 in taxes coming in. But
I just know from the residential side that if I were to buy this land and build this house, it's not going to be appraised at what I spent on procuring the land and building the house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because they're going to spend 20 million, is what they're saying.
Right. So now for commercial, what you saw, I don't know if there's a difference. Because we just watched this 10-minute clip this morning before we started the show. So we'd have to look into commercial valuation and the regulations and behind that. And
right.
So I don't know if you ever encountered that.
So,
but because you rented your space.
Commercial property is valued more, but usually it's valued more because it's commercial, which means it's making money. Which, you could say a housing development is commercial because they're making money, but for instance, the place on Spring Street is in a heavy industrial area, so I actually had to get a variance just to go there because it's not in the correct zone, if you were, but it was approved because they could do pretty much anything under the sun in that piece of property. But yeah, I don't. So if they spend 20 million, there's no way it's going to be appraised at 20 million. There's no way.
It doesn't make sense.
No.
Not now there might be something that we don't know about. But it doesn't make sense.
And then you got to figure right now, the market is stupid high. Like, everything is worth way more than what it really is worth. So at some point, that's going to crash down, and it won't be long because it can't stay at this rate for a long period of time. So the housing market will crash.
Well, at least according history has shown us.
According to history and people we hear,
correct itself.
Yes. So even if they say, all right, it's worth 20 million now, and if it crashes and now all of a sudden, you realistically look at everything as double what it's really worth right now. So then if it's 10 million, you still have a $360,000 tax burden, potentially, if you have 20 kids. And it will keep going up, obviously. Cost of education will keep going up. That's just normal. But then they'll be bringing in half of that. So it's a liability, too.
Yeah, because how are they going to pay taxes on a $20 million property, charging rent that's variable?
It's all government subsidized too. Yeah. It's not like Section 8 housing. It's not. It's a workforce housing. So they'll have X amount of units that pay less of a rate depending on what they make. So say you worked at McDonald's, you're a young adult, you wanted to move here or move into this place, and you can afford $1,000 a month in rent, which at this point is probably a low ball number, okay? So if you qualified through them, whatever, I don't know exactly what the qualifications would be, maybe you only pay $300 a month in rent because it's subsidized, which the point of it and the purpose of it is so that this person can still work but have a place to live, which I don't have an issue with that at all.
No, not at all. Because I just said, hey, when you're 18 to 21, you should be looking for your own place.
And say they worked
that's kind of the perfect opportunity.
So say they worked at McDonald's and they made whatever, just using that example, and all of a sudden they got a job at Ruger's and say they're making, a couple dollars more an hour, and that could potentially boost them up where they wouldn't be paying $300 a month anymore. Maybe it's like $500 a month. So it's based off the income is what workforce housing is. So, which is great. I have no problem with that. There's been a lot of places approved for it. It just doesn't always happen because there's so many components to it: federal money, tax credit, whatever. my concern is, and I've said this before, I've asked the question before, I've never got the answer, at least I feel like is adequate, is I would ask the question, someone would be like, well, because there's a formula based off of, yes, they won't bring that much tax revenue in, but they, as in the resident, will be spending money at different stores and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
that's sales tax, right?
Yeah,
we don't even have.
We don't have a sales tax, so that doesn't.
It's prepared food.
It doesn't. It still doesn't add up. And then I wasn't, like I said, we didn't watch it all last night. I probably will at some point though, because I wasn't really satisfied with the answer Hunter gave, because he was just asked, so this would be appraised at $20 million, which nobody knows until it's built. So you can't. I'm not trying to put him on the hook for that, but I would have asked questions like, okay, so do they get subsidies and stuff to where they don't pay as much taxes? Because if this place goes forward and gets built and they increase the kids in our school, which we can barely handle at this point anyways, and then they're only bringing in half to pay for it, we, the taxpayers, are now on the hook for more money to make our taxes go up. So, like, that's a serious question. So, and they're there to get another handout, I guess, to say from the town to be part of the. So the state's giving money. Well, the federal government, I think, it came from there originally. I think it's like $100 million coming into the state of New Hampshire. That $100 million is supposed to go into communities like this to build affordable housing. So this company is there to, like, hey, we want some of that portion, and the town gets some percentage of it as an administration fee or whatever. So my other concern is, like, how much of this, so if they take this money, for some reason it doesn't happen, then what happens? They just get the money? And these are just questions. I don't know the answers to it. And I'm not against the whole thing, because I literally was one of the zoning board members that voted in zoning to let them put that where it was, even though there was residents there that were like, well, no, we don't want to see it. We don't want to. Listen, it's heavy commercial zoned. You're in residential. It's unfortunate this street's what separates it, but they do own the property, and they have a right to, do on their property. Like, I'm very strong about that. If it's your property, it's your right to do whatever. That's if it's not going to impact the town in a sense of, I want to put a nuclear waste dump here. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm good with that. So, but overall, if you're like, hey, I want to put a fence, whatever, it's your property. That's where I stand on that. Me personally, Tim Beard. You didn't have your headphones on the whole time. I didn't even pay attention to it. So
I was wondering why I sounded better, because normally I can't hear myself speak.
And now you're like, what's going on?
But I can hear you, and I was like, I don't really hear Tim that well.
Yeah, it's all falling apart. The more experience we get with this, the worse it gets for us. But I don't know. It's just a concern. And Ed Carr brought that into the school board last meeting, and I wanted to go actually last night. I said to you, hey, maybe we should go, because that's a legit question, and not go as in representing the school board, because I think that would be something that would have to be voted on. That
we couldn't ever do that.
No,
just
go as residents, but also representatives of the school board. Hey, this has been brought to our attention. This is a serious question, and see what the answer would be. And it was slightly addressed last night. I wasn't necessarily like the answer isn't necessarily.
At least the part that we watched.
At least the part we watched.
Like, we didn't watch the full.
Right. I did watch
Truth in Lending there.
Yes.
So
last night I did
more discussion after we.
Yes. So Kathy Hubert was there last night and passed out some paperwork. I did watch part of that because one of my friends messaged me and like, what are these building guys doing back here? And I looked at that for a minute, and then I went to Kathy, and Kathy was there to notify the town that there's another class action lawsuit going out against the state for not funding education, as they're constitutionally supposed to fund education, which gives me some hope that maybe we'll start to see the end of, the light at the end of the tunnel here.
It's been 20 some odd years.
It's been 20 something years. They were literally ruled. And so that was the thing too, when that ruling came down from that judge saying that, no, you are responsible for this. So now it's law that it has to be done. It's just no one's enforcing the fact that they're not doing it. So
it was always the law, right?
Well, it's always been a law. The judge interpreted it as the law, and then they still don't fund education how they're supposed to. And
I see that quite a bit, like across the country, is that laws are selectively enforced.
Yeah.
Whether it's with individuals or in this case with the state, like, we're not going to do that, or
Right.
any type of policy.
Like, who are you to say as the state, no, we're not going to
Like when the
do it?
Supreme Court said, yeah, you can't do this with gun permits in New York,
Right.
and then they went and they doubled down and
Yeah.
made it even more strict.
Right.
And then the DOJ was like, yeah, we disagree with the
And
judge,
so we're not gonna-
so we're not
right.
going to worry about it.
So basically, they're saying they don't care what the laws are.
So it's concerning because
It should be very concerning.
everybody mimics what those in authority above them do.
Right.
It's just how we are as humans. We
Right.
reciprocate.
And that's the thing. Everybody, obviously the big thing, Roe versus Wade, that turnover that's what really pissed off a lot of people, right? Okay, if you're pissed off, the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the presidency right now. Then pass a law that legalizes abortion in the United States of America, and then the Supreme Court would have no choice. I mean, they literally said they make a law then. Because according to the law now, it's states' right. End of story. Done. They did that. So, okay.
Because it's not in the.
It's on the Constitution.
So that
I mean,
means
obviously
it
back
goes
then-
to the state.
Yes. So, okay, then write a law about it. So if New Hampshire, I guess, doesn't want to fund education, then people in legislation down there right now should pass a law saying that we're not responsible for funding education. I guess I can't see why you couldn't. I mean, granted, it's in our Constitution, so that law technically would violate the actual law. So I guess the Supreme Court could then say, well, no, you're breaking law. But I mean, Roe versus Wade is a little more simple because it's not in the Constitution at all, just says state right. But in theory, they could pass a law in Congress saying
Well, it doesn't say it's a state right. It's
It goes
not
back
in
to
there,
state,
and
right.
so it's not.
any law that's not in the Constitution is a state right,
Right.
or anything that's not in the Constitution. So I don't know.
Left to the states.
Left to the states. So yeah, I don't know. Just some things really in town to really look at and pay attention to. And just it's a concern. I've said this before. I asked this question to somebody as a member of the zoning board. I said to, and I won't say who, but you have a big old spider right there.
It's a good-looking boy too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably some deadly one. Don't bring it to me.
You don't have deadly spiders in New Hampshire,
There's what are those? Recluse, brown recluse.
are there?
I don't know if they're deadly, but they make you sick, I believe.
Give you like a rash on your hand. We
Ah.
have those down in Texas. Brown recluse.
Yeah. Well, you're from Texas. You play with that spider and just.
Well, I
let me
like
know.
them because they get the bugs.
I'm cool. You don't have to kill it or anything. Just, I don't want it on me. You turn into Steve O. Spider-Man. Now I'm all confused. I don't even know where I was.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The little spider.
No, that's all right. So we have an outhouse at the land. I went in there yesterday, and I look over. I'm like, whoa, that spider was teeny. This spider was probably like an inch
Is it a
across.
wolf spider? You have
No,
wolf
not.
spiders up here?
I don't know. Lydia had a spider on her wall in the basement, like her bedroom's in the basement one time, and it was much bigger than the size of your can of soda there. It was big.
That had to be a wolf spider.
It must have been.
Those things are huge.
Yeah. Well, they have in the Middle East, don't they have camel spiders, or whatever, which are
Yeah.
huge, like big.
Yeah. That's why everybody's supposed to wear tennis shoes when they go to the showers. Once we built showers, so you didn't get bit. I've seen pictures of them. I never actually
Never
saw
seen one.
one, but I saw pictures that were on the slides to scare us all into compliance of wearing tennis shoes at a minimum. I always had my combat boots on unless I was doing PT.
I mean, that's a easy sell for me. Like, so if you're not wearing your shoes in the sandals or something in the shower, then you could be bitten by this spider or snake or something, and I'd be kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll believe you. Now you could be like, well, you could get this fungus or whatever, and I'm probably like, all right, well,
No, it's called leishmaniasis, but I think you get that from like a sand fly. Like, it's gross. That's what I was concerned about getting. Leishmaniasis. I think I'm pronouncing that properly.
Yeah. All right, position of the day, physical education / health teacher. So this at the school. Still lots of positions need to be filled. If you know anyone looking for a job that would fit into any of these categories, That's definitely important to fill these. I don't know what'll happen if they don't get filled.
Yeah.
You'll be teaching something, Steve. You have a degree.
I don't think school board members can.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, I guess it would be kind
I
of
would
a
have ran for
conflict.
school board after my first year here, but I was signed up as a sub, so I didn't think I could
I don't know.
do that and be on the school board.
Good
I might
question.
be wrong. I could have just been applying my own morals and values and ethics, right? Because wouldn't it be unethical to be a sub and be on the school board? So I think I'm answering my own question.
Kind of, I would think in a way, because then you help dictate policies that would affect you directly. But I don't know. It's a good question. Kindergarten, if your child's going to be 5 years old before the 30th of September, and you want to sign them up for kindergarten, now would be the time to do so. You want to do it sooner than later, because time flies here, and school will be starting before you know it. And then just once again, the mandatory meetings for the middle school parents and athletes, August 3rd at 5 Wheeler Gym, and then high school,
So that's
August
the
4th.
kind of pictures they showed us of the leishmaniasis that come from sandflies.
That's nasty, dude. That'd be enough for me to be like, yeah, no, I'm good.
You're like, wear your long sleeves and gloves,
Like-
even though it's 140 degrees out.
What happened, Tim? How'd you get shot? No clue. Here I am. I shoot myself in the leg because I don't want to get any of that sand flea stuff.
Sandfly.
Sand fly, yeah. Ugh. Like, here, we're going to give you a purple. No, I don't want a purple heart. It's good. No, I don't need a purple heart. No. Just send me home.
You
Where there's
wouldn't get
no-
that for shooting yourself.
Well, I know,
Get a
but
discharge.
that was like enemy fire or something.
Charge you for the bullet and all the medical services provided to you.
That'd probably be better than getting that rashy thing you just showed me, though.
Yeah, you don't
Whoa.
want that. Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to.
No, it's all good. So, block party this Friday. It's going to be hot, but it looks like the weather's going to be good. So,
Starts during the.
farmers market so farmers market goes 3 to 6. This starts 5, goes to 8. We have live music, food trucks, vendors. Then the rec center's going to be doing some backyard Olympics, which I don't know. And it says so much more, so there'll be other stuff too. But I don't know what backyard Olympics, like horseshoes.
To me, it sounds like Fat Man Olympics. Like me and my buddies used to get together.
Ah.
We'd like make a putt course up in the house. We'd, I don't know, play dodgeball on the trampoline or off the diving board. Pool volleyball. Like, like a lot of lazy man. Like, so you're not gonna get injured really. Well, I guess
Right.
you could on the trampoline or jumping off the diving board trying to catch or dodge a ball, but you know what I mean? Like easy, fun sports.
Yeah. Probably shouldn't say fat man. Might offend somebody.
Well, I was referring to myself as participating in the Fat Man Olympics, so I'm not offending myself.
Steve,
And
are you
obesity-
offending yourself?
And obesity is leading cause, one of the leading causes of heart disease and all other kinds of medical
Death.
ailments that all of us could stand. Most of us, not all of us, most of us could stand to use a few pounds. Lose a few pounds. Cut out the corn syrup, man.
You're on a kick with that lately.
Yeah, I feel like, has it got hydrogenated corn syrup in it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the number 2 ingredient behind water?
It is.
Exactly.
High fructose corn syrup. Citric acid, sodium benzate. It's a preservative. So that's what keeps it from
Definitely
going
keeping
bad.
my liver jellied right now, my kidneys.
Natural flavor.
Which could be anything that comes from
Anything that's natural in
Alive.
the environment. Could be metal shavings. It's natural around a metal plant or something. But caramel color.
it could be, they secrete the anal glands of beavers to get like vanilla flavoring. That's how they get away with calling it natural.
Wait, what?
Never heard that?
No.
Yeah, so that's why I always buy natural vanilla, like real vanilla bean. I'll spend some extra money.
Who's
because-
this sick bastard?
that found that out?
That found
Let me make
that
sure
out.
that I'm not making up some.
Let me try the
conspiracy
beaver
theory.
gland, anal gland thing.
Is it beaver? Just so everybody knows, I'm not some crazy beaver.
Sounds crazy, but I figure this out.
Beaver butts emit goo used for vanilla flavoring. NationalGeographic.com. Just so everybody knows, I'm not like I tell you, I read a lot of useless stuff, my man. Like
That's not.
I've known this for like 10,
So,
12 years. That's why.
Like, what about vanilla ice cream?
I don't know. Hey, you're
Like, I need to know. Vanilla ice cream is my ice cream.
You're acting like me with the eggs, man.
There's a big difference between an egg and some beaver anal gland stuff. And who the hell tasted it and said, "Oh, that tastes like vanilla. Let's use that in food"?
I don't know. I mean, we were an agriculture society, a hunting gatherer back when we first got here. There were a lot of pelt traders. Maybe they figured out when they were breaking down the animal back in the day.
So I like squirted him in the face and like, "Oh wow,
tastes like vanilla."
Bubba, that's vanilla. That's so good. We should try that.
Let's put that into ginger ale. Now you learned something today.
Something I don't ever want to know. I eat hot dogs, and I know there's bad. Like, hot dogs are just like the worst thing to eat, right? Because they just. But I don't want to know, okay? Because I like hot dogs.
I shouldn't have told you about the natural flavor being.
Like, whenever I go get ice cream, I get soft serve vanilla with Rainbow Jimmy's, my favorite. And now I'll be like, "Oh, it's so good. I think I'm licking a beaver's."
Well, if it's artificial flavoring, then I think you're good. Because this, I think, counts as natural flavoring. I stopped buying McCormick seasonings because I looked on the packet and it has, it doesn't say, maybe it just says genetically modified materials. But it's in the ingredients, it just says, we do use lab-grown, genetically modified, whatever. And so then I'm out of anything that, like, I used to be a big McCormick guy, but if I see that on the label.
You wonder what's like wrong with the health of the people in this country? This is like a perfect example of like, not even that, but like.
Beaver vanilla? You're talking just like adding stuff in?
Genetically modified things. Like, what was it? Was it Lucky Charms? There was something on Lucky Charms. No. Skittles. There's something with Lucky Charms too, but Skittles. I just saw a story the other day. There's another lawsuit or something, or the FDA or something's going after, I think Mars makes Skittles or whatever, because there's something in the Skittles that you shouldn't be eating.
Is it like the ingredient in Mountain Dew that's also used as a, like...
Something, yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about? For like, I won't drink Mountain Dew.
Yeah. It's...
Unless, like, absolutely the only thing to drink cold.
But Skittles is still putting whatever that is that's not supposed to be in there. They were still doing it. Someone else told me a story. They couldn't figure out why soldiers were getting like super sick over in Iraq and Afghanistan, and people that were drinking diet soda were getting sick, and they couldn't figure out, well, what's going on, because it gets really hot over there, and the aspartame, which is the fake sugar, right, that's supposed to be better for you, was when it gets to a certain temperature, like 120 degrees, whatever, which happens easy over in the Middle East, it was turning to formaldehyde, which is what preserves bodies when you die, and soldiers are getting sick from it. So, because I used to drink a lot of like Pepsi Max or Coke Zero, because, it's 0 calories, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, don't do it. It's not good for you. Diet soda is not good for you. You'd rather just have the regular.
Titanium dioxide is the chemical right now that people are concerned about in Skittles.
And they were told 6 years ago that had to come out, but apparently they didn't take it out. It just shows you how good the FDA is, didn't verify this.
It complies with FDA regulation. So.
Right, because the amount of it or something, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I know
it creates genotoxicity, the ability of a chemical substance to change DNA.
No wonder they didn't want to take it out.
Taste the rainbow. The company has so the suit claims that this is on the sun.co.uk, so this is a UK newspaper.
So it's probably potentially more factual.
They'll change it over in Europe or whatever, but keep feeding it to us.
Yes.
It said in 2016, Mars committed to removing titanium dioxide from its product, but has yet to do so. So just like you said, could not be considered safe for consumption. It doesn't say.
So I know what titanium is, but dioxide would mean it would be like a gas, right?
Has failed to inform consumers of the implications of consuming the toxic. He would not have consumed Skittles if it were made clear that the product contained titanium dioxide, but the label is difficult to read.
You should Google titanium dioxide and see what it says. Like, what's
We're going down some rabbit holes. Titanium dioxide. Let's see.
Oh, it's a cool little square.
It's an inorganic compound. When used as a pigment, it is called titanium white, pigment white.
So it's a color.
It is a white, water-insoluble solid, although minerals can, and this is just right off of Wikipedia, so who knows how correct this is. As a pigment, it has a wide range of applications, including paint, sunscreen, and food coloring. When used as a food coloring, it has E number E171. It's estimated that titanium was used in 2/3 of all pigments, and pigments based on the oxide have been valued at $13.2 billion.
So it must be to change the color of the...
Health and safety. Remove the authorization to use it in foods effective 7 February 2022 with a 6-month grace period. So they have until August 7th, 2022 to stop using it
in Europe,
in the Eastern or in the European Union. When it's inhaled as a dust, it's been classified as a carcinogen, meaning it's possibly carcinogenic to humans. Yeah. It's mostly introduced in the environment as nanoparticles via wastewater, cosmetic pigments, including that, enter the wastewater, washed off into the sinks and cosmetic use. Once in the sewage treatment plants, pigments separate into sewage sludge, which can then be released into the soil when injected into the soil or distributed on its surface. 99% of these nanoparticles wind up on land rather than aquatic environments due to their retention in sewage sludge.
Ew.
Yeah.
If we
So I guess Skittles are out.
If we keep going down this hole,
we're going to eat tomatoes, cabbage, your chickens if they survive.
Yeah, my chickens, I can't even survive. But yeah. We'll have to go like chew bark off a tree out there or something. That's just...
All right, so I gave you all my sources. That was right off the Sun over in the EU, and then Wikipedia for titanium dioxide. And then NationalGeographic.com for the beaver vanilla flavoring anal secretion. But, if you think about it too much, you'll go crazy. But then also, if you think about it just enough, and you're like, I probably shouldn't even be drinking this.
Why are we putting this stuff in our body?
Well, because, I don't know. Because we're not educated to realize that
people have been telling us forever that we shouldn't be doing this, but we're like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, free will, baby.
I'm not saying we should outlaw. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not like, oh, you should outlaw all drinks because they're not safe.
You could probably find a better way, a more natural way.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is how about we tell the big company, like, no, you're not allowed to put titanium dioxide or whatever in this. You need to use natural things, or like, that's what I'm thinking.
Pay the vanilla farmers their fair share. Knock out the middleman, right? Like, I'm all about getting rid of middlemen because that's basically like the bureaucracy.
Right. That's where all the money goes, is the middleman.
Exactly.
So anyways, Sunday, Concert on the Common, 6 to 8's Bel Airs, and then 69th Annual Shriner Maple Bowl is August 6th, Castleton University, which I'm pretty sure you can watch that. You'll have to Google it because I don't know where, but you can watch it on, somebody broadcast it too. So, and then I saw this story for New Hampshire that, Massachusetts? Let me check. Okay, so Massachusetts. Massachusetts opens 11 monkeypox vaccination sites, including a few near New Hampshire border. Okay. We've had one case of monkeypox in the state, and there's been 51 supposedly in Massachusetts, and we're going to get vaccinated against monkeypox now.
No.
So if you don't physically touch the person that has monkeypox, you can't get monkeypox. So it's kind of like chickenpox. Just don't touch the person, and it's like, well, it's kind of like poison ivy. If they don't have sores, you can't get it. So if you have poison ivy that's oozing and I touch it, I get it. So if they have monkeypox, which you can clearly see,
no, for now. I'm sure they'll diagnose
the
it.
secret
you have it and you don't even know it.
You don't
Skin
even
itches?
know.
That's not a bug bite.
That's monkeypox. A monkey. Yeah.
A little facetiousness there, people.
Yeah.
But also some truth there in that nugget, probably.
Yep. All right. I have a funny meme of the day. It says, if you serve your kids frozen pizza or chicken nuggets for dinner, you're a terrible parent. I don't care how busy you are, find time to microwave them. Here's another one. They condition you to believe that people like us are unhinged, harmful, conspiracy theorists, so you don't listen to us. Because once you go down the rabbit hole and you learn the truths that we've learned, there's no looking back. You'll never trust them or their systems again.
Titanium dioxide.
Titanium dioxide.
Beaver anal secretions for vanilla flavoring. I'm pretty sure it's a chemical in Mountain Dew that...
What's the chemical?
I'll tell you while you're sounds like you're wrapping it up. So let me.
No, I mean, I'm not wrapping up completely because I have one story that's national. But
bad chemical and
I have been told, and this is you look it up. It's true. So they said that say you're trying to have a baby, that males shouldn't drink Mountain Dew because it lowers sperm count. So there's something in the Mountain Dew that does that to you.
So it's bromine, which is what I use to clean my water in my hot tub. I don't use chlorine, I use bromine. So it's a poisonous, corrosive chemical linked to major organ system damage, birth defects, growth problems, schizophrenia, and hearing loss. There's flame retardant in your Mountain Dew. Yeah, so it's like a flame retardant as well. That's what I knew it was used for something.
What the? Why? Why is that in there?
Because it helps it to maintain its color, or it keeps the particles from whatever. There's a reason for it. I read it a long time ago, which is why I won't buy Mountain Dew. But like if I show up to a party and the only thing to drink is Diet Mountain Dew or Mountain Dew, I'll destroy my body for 12 hours because that gives me an upset stomach when I drink Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it's really acidic-y. I used to drink a lot of Mountain Dew. Now that I know I'm fire retardant.
Yeah, that's why you were so bold to always want to run into the fire.
It's recommended for firefighters. Drink Mountain Dew before you go into the fire. You'll become fire retardant.
No, so it goes back to what your meme there, too. It was like you start reading and researching, and you're like,
right.
Why am I putting this in my body?
Right.
But you start looking for real vanilla versus artificial vanilla.
But I am just
natural vanilla.
Unintelligent DC student that is a conspiracy theorist.
No, there's no conspiracy about this. This is like right off of, I'm on Bing.
Right.
I'm not even using some conspiracy theorist.
Right. Google, Bing, same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
but you know what I mean? So you'll probably find even more articles if you Google it, right? Because I'm just using Bing. Right. So you'll probably find.
What about Google Scholar?
I don't know if that would show up for Google Scholar. It's been a long time since I've been on it.
Google Scholar.
Google Scholar.
I feel smarter already.
Yeah, so it's like articles and case law, so it's a little bit different. So it's to help you find scholarly journals. So let's see.
So we could be using this for how long now? This would be valuable to us?
Chemical. Let's see if it... Yeah, so this will give you, if you go there, it'll give you like research where they talk about tartrazine, red number 40, blue number 1, the role of involvement in sports and sport spectatorship and sponsors brand use, the case of Mountain Dew and action sports sponsorship. So then you can go and you can actually read scholarly journals about how Mountain Dew is put into your brain that it's all right to drink because they
do
sponsor
the dew.
Stuff.
Remember that commercial?
Research Journal of Pharmaceutical, Biological, and Chemical Sciences. Yeah, so there's actually scholarly journals here talking about the Mountain Dew bad chemicals in it.
See, we find stuff off this now. All of a sudden, I want to cite sources. Like, I was on Google Scholar, and
Well, no, well, it gives you,
no, this is actually useful. I mean, I'm just kind of joking around, but
this gives you the non-CNN Wikipedia stuff. This gives you articles.
this is why no one really knows about it.
Right, because this is where you want to go to actually find.
This is the other side of Google that's like, here, we'll have a little factual information. We'll call it Google Scholar, though, so that way people don't go there. It's very smart of them. Very, very smart. Huh. Maybe they could expand this with their tech bailout money.
You're giving lots of billions of dollars to everybody but us.
Yeah. Used to be millions, now it's billions. Billion here. You get a billion. It's like Oprah. You get a car. You get a car. It's like, you get a billion. You get a billion. You get a billion.
Well, they do that with large companies while
Yes.
the workers.
Don't forget, the little man gets his 10%. U.S. housing starts drop to the lowest in 9 months. The new U.S. home building activity fell to its lowest in June, and the permits for new construction projects have slipped as well. And the latest indication of the cooling housing market, which, a couple things. So, cooling housing market, yes, because interest rates are going up. So now it's not smart to buy a home that's overpriced to start with, and with interest rates that are higher.
You can't do as much with your money.
Exactly, you can't take your money as far. So this kind of goes to what we talked about earlier, where, yeah, we're going to put $20 million in this place. $20 million, it's not your money, it's somebody else's money anyways.
$20 million, I mean, that's big enough to, like,
that's a lot of money.
School.
Yeah.
Like
so
a whole new school.
Yeah.
And it's only going to have how many? 20?
42.
42 units?
For $20 million? That's I think the Sunapee Fire Station built their building for like $5 or $6 million. Fire station. So, don't know.
It's like a compound.
Yeah, no clue. But speaking of the housing market, I have another meme for that one too. The housing market in 2022 under contract, 425,000. That's like so accurate too. Like, I mean, I haven't seen a dollhouse or a kid's little playhouse for sale, like, but like legit, like some of the things you'd see, it's like, this isn't worth that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the whole housing market right now is just concerning. I guess
it's 2008 all over
If you
again.
had a second home or something, if you were blessed enough to have that, then I would probably sell it just because it's worth so much more. If you could do without it, just to help tighten down. But I mean, if I were to sell this, I wouldn't be able to buy anything comparable to it.
That's the thing people don't get is, so I'm going to sell my house and get another house. Okay, so you sold your house for $500,000, and now it's going to cost you $800,000 to replace what you just had.
Right.
That's not a smart investment. If you're going to sell your house, because you're downsizing drastically, or say moving out of state or something.
Right, that's one thing.
I can see it, but to sell your primary residence and then right now, because it's high. Okay, but you can't replace it. Now, if you inherited a place, or there's some circumstances.
There's circumstances where, take advantage of it. But I'm just saying for the normal.
Yeah, if you sell this place right now, it costs double for you to go get it again.
Yeah,
build it, everything. I mean, the cost of building materials.
Cost of building is
ridiculous. But they're still building like crazy. Don't get it. I don't know. Anyways, all right. Here's the positive meme. It's kind of a funny one, but be thankful it's not snowing. Imagine shoveling snow in this heat. That'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's still not as hot as it is down in Texas.
It's true. And it's not so hot that the cows are dying.
Yeah. Well, you better watch out for them tomorrow. It's going to get up to 91.
Yeah. It's going to be in the 90s. Better really keep an eye on them. Get to a certain temperature and they just gone. Toast.
Just fall over in the field.
Yeah. It's probably conspiracy, though.
Probably.
The video I saw was probably fake.
Could have been, actually. I mean, they kind of look like inflatable cows.
It was
kind of weird.
Very weird video.
It was not. Yeah. If I were a farmer and I walked out and I saw that. Now, granted, there was some machinery in the background moving, so maybe they were just piling them up in a perfect row.
Yeah, but
still, that was just.
how does a cow die that way? Of like, they look like they died standing up, which that's not how you're going to die of heat exhaustion. You would drop to the ground. You wouldn't be dead yet, and then you would die laying down. But
Well, Tim, you're not a veterinarian, so I don't know how you can even be postulating this,
That's
speculating
that's true.
how that they would die. But yes, most animals that are on 4 feet don't die standing up with their legs locked out.
Right.
Like in the video that we watched, where all those cows' legs were straight.
And even if you shoot one, they don't die that way. Just saying.
Yeah,
And if I was a veterinarian and I said the same thing, they'd be like, well, you're not a animal or a mammal scientist, so...
Like, you're not specialized in the bovine.
You're not a bovine specialist with 50 years of experience in studying bovine deaths.
So you're a conspiracy
Hot
theorist.
days.
You know you're a veterinarian that's treated cattle
Right.
for 1 to 40 years.
Yeah. Everything you learned in college
That would
is
be
wrong.
interesting. Go ask a veterinarian, like, hey, what do you think about this picture? Does this look like how cows die from heat exhaustion? Because that would put an end to it,
I know someone.
to our speculation.
We can do this. I know somebody.
Let's do it. Let's ask them. But when I say us, since you know them, I'll let you ask them.
All right. I'll send a message after this. Yeah, be interesting. Have you ever lost all the years you've been in business, or all the years you've had cows? Have any of your cows ever died because it was hot?
Because it increased 36 degrees in a day or 2 days.
Which New England is known from going from like 40 degree swings. That's like so common here.
Yeah, because there's that one farm over on Burpee Hill Road, and they have like Scottish Highland cattle.
Yeah.
Do you think they would pass out from the heat because they have all that long fur on top of their skin? You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen them?
Yeah.
But
They're furry things. Yeah.
yeah.
I've always worried more about my cows like freezing to death, which I mean it's normal for a cow to. It's winter. It's normal, but I still worry about that more than ever. Like, oh, it's so hot. Like they're gonna die. Like, just make sure they have water.
Some shade.
Yeah. But even most
They
cows,
didn't even have shade out there. I'll give them that.
But
It didn't
most-
look like there were any trees.
a lot of cows don't have shade either, though.
That's true.
They're just out in the field.
Like buffalo out on the open plains.
Right. There's not shade. They don't die because of the. It's no.
Yeah, it's just a weird explanation.
Yeah,
You're asking too many questions.
I know.
Just digest that news and move on, and be concerned about climate change.
I will just eat my titanium dioxide as a good little servant or slave or
Yeah,
minion.
Minion. You're
Minion.
You're a chemical
I am a little minion.
depository.
Yes.
Repository.
I will just eat my, titanium dioxide master.
With your beaver anal gland secretions for vanilla.
Never. I'm just.
You gotta. No, I'm just telling you. So now you got to make sure you know. Like you can find out where their vanilla comes from if you have a favorite ice cream.
So, I'll reach out to someone I know about the cows dying that way. What if I could find someone that has a beaver and you can taste the stuff to see if it tastes like
No.
vanilla?
No, thank you.
It's something I was thinking of earlier because I saw this thing that a 9-year-old died from doing a TikTok challenge, which
That's horrible.
yeah, another good reason to ban TikTok. Not that I'm pro banning things because of that, but just a sense that they steal your information for China. But excuse me, we forgot to do our tortilla challenge on Sunday.
Yeah, well, we might have saved us a death.
That's true. One of us could.
How did the child pass away from a TikTok challenge?
I didn't click on it.
Yeah, they don't even give it your.
No, I didn't want to give anyone a suggestion.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It is horrible. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the weather. Stay cool. And if you see any cows out there struggling, make sure you let the farmer know. We don't want to have that happen here.
Exactly.
See you tomorrow.